Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, you may recall a couple years ago I tried to grow some berries in the yard. I planted some blackberries, some raspberries, some blueberries, and if you kind of followed along, you realize they didn't take and didn't do very well, and none of the plants actually survived. I want to try that again because I'd really like to have some berries in the yard, but I got to figure out what happened, and I want to start off by trying it a little differently. Let's talk about this. So yeah, this is the area along the back fence where I tried to grow them before. And as you can see, there are no blackberries, there are no raspberries, there are no blueberries here. They didn't make it. And I think part of the problem was the soil in this area isn't really friendly. And so I've kind of taken the approach that when I redo this again, I want to start by planting them in a pot. Maybe like in a 5-gallon pot, and get them going, get them established in that, and then if need be I can leave them in the pot if they do well in there and just put like a trellis in there. I might even put a trellis in there now so it has something to grow up on, or I can put a trellis in at a later date. And I think that way will give me, I can start off with some quality soil. I can kind of control the moisture a little bit, can prevent varmints hopefully from ripping the plants out, and if it gets too cold I can move them inside, at least for the first couple of years until they get established. So I want to go over and see if I can find some berry bushes at Home Depot. I know it's maybe not the right time of year to do that, but I want to try anyway and see what we can come up with, and get some pots and some potting soil and maybe some trellises, and let's see if we can make this work again. Alright, I'm back from Home Depot, and in fact I'm actually back from Home Depot for a second time. The last scene I shot was shot 3 days ago, and I went over to Home Depot initially, couldn't find what I was looking for, and just figured, okay, it was out of season. Well, it turns out this is almost kind of the ideal time to start growing this kind of stuff. And I was back at Home Depot again today doing something else, and I just happened to walk down another aisle and saw they had a whole bunch of these out there. Apparently it's been really cold lately here in Waco for the last week or so, and apparently when it gets really cold, Home Depot tends to bring some of their plants inside. And I knew that was the case, but I looked in the wrong aisle. There were two places they were staging things that normally were outside that were now inside, and I'd only looked at one of them last week. So I just happened to stumble upon the other stash place today, and found that they had what I was looking for. Now these are virtually identical to the ones I tried growing a year or two ago, although we're going to hopefully give these a better chance this time, because what we're going to do is we're going to plant them in pots, and I think that'll give us a benefit because it'll be starting off with high quality soil, whereas before, it was a little bit of high quality soil and then a lot of the clay and the limestone that's just in the natural soil here in Waco. So I got that. I have a bunch of just empty 5-gallon pots, and I bought some potting soil, and we're going to put all these in the pot, give them a good drink, and we can leave these on the porch when it gets really cold, or out in the sun when it's a nice day. And I think if we protect them a little bit better in the first year, I think they'll have a better chance of becoming established and surviving past the first couple of months, like the last set didn't do. So we'll probably put them in the pot, leave them in the pot for at least a year, maybe more, until I get the point that they're growing really well. We might even put a little trellis in each of these pots so they got something to climb on. And once they get to the point where they're established well enough, to the point where they're being ready to be transplanted into the ground, then we can just take these cheap pots that I have, cut the pot out of it, put it in the hole, bury the whole thing, and it'll be good to go. So that's what we're going to do today, is we are going to put these in that. Now the first thing I did was mark each of the individual pots with the berry that's going in them, because it's really hard to tell blueberries from blackberries from raspberries once they're just away from the labels that come with the individual plants, because they all kind of look the same. It's just a stick coming out of the ground. So by keeping track of this now, planning ahead of time, we won't get any confusion as to which one's which. Okay, so I'm going to start with the raspberry vine first. I'm going to be a little bit more careful this time pulling it out of the packaging, because I noticed when I did this a year or two ago, the root ball around the root itself kind of disintegrated when I pulled it out of the package, and that might have actually been part of the reason it died. Now, the way these things work is it comes in a plastic bag, and then inside the plastic bag is like a paper liner between the bag and the soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the plastic bag, leave it in the paper bag until I get it surrounded by soil, and then I'll pull the paper out, and that will hopefully keep everything together. I don't know, fingers crossed. All right, 1 down, 2 to go. And those are the blueberries. And there's the blackberries. And I mean the fruit, not the obsolete telephone brand. So I moved the 3 pots out into the backyard, and this will probably be where they live, at least for the most part. The benefit of having them in pots, as I said before, is if it gets too cold, I can move them into the shade, or, you know, at least out of the snow, because we're definitely capable of doing that. Now, I know blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries are actually plants that have adapted to survive to some of the cold here. I suspect that over time they will get to the point where they can deal with that, but in these early stages when they're still being established, I want to protect them a little bit. Now, next thing I want to do is give them a good drink, and since we had some rain here in the last couple days, my rain barrel is overflowing, so I got the perfect water for them. Now I want to give them all a lot of water. I'm basically giving it water until it starts coming out of the bottom. And I've got a lot of water to give them. So, you know, these are 5-gallon buckets, and I'm prepared to put like 5 gallons in each one of these here just to make sure they got a good solid drink. Because we want to have the root ball get basically all the moisture it needs right now. And so I'm just kind of going through here, putting cups of water in here one at a time. This one's already starting to pop out of the bottom there, so we've got some good flow through there. We'll keep giving them some more here. Just to get everything well established. Plants like water, don't they? All right, I think that's a good start. That's about 5 gallons between the 3 of them. I'm gonna let it kind of soak through here a little bit, get everything kind of neutralized, all the moisture in the soil kind of equal throughout, and then we'll give them some more water and some more until I feel that they're well watered. But I'm looking forward to seeing if we can make them work this time. Like I said, it was sad that they didn't work last time, but I think we're starting off on a much better foot this time, and we'll be in much better position to hopefully get a good crop. So stay tuned. We'll let you know what happens in the future, but until then, I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.